Welcome to the Sonya Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Good day, everyone. It is time for the Sonya Buchanan Show, where we focus on one life, one smile at a time. We have a great show today, and this show may not be for everyone, but I hope that it blesses everyone. So the name of our podcast for this week is Seasons of Blessings. And we're going to dive into this topic right after this commercial. So we'll be right back.
Oh my God, I gotta tell you, I was having a moment and I decided to surf the net. And that's when I came across this website called Comforting Promises, which is a great website, by the way. And get this, on the website was a featured book called The Journey by Sonya Buchanan that was recently published. So I immediately downloaded the ebook on Kindle because it talked about, having faith for your life purpose. And let me tell you, the book is super great. I was so motivated to get back into the game, pursuing my goals. And you gotta get the book because it's worth the read.
Welcome back to the Sonya Buchanan Show, where we focus on one life, one smile at a time. Again, our subject is called Seasons of Blessings. I did a study of grapes, and a person who does the study of grapes is called a viticulture. And a viticulturist studies and applies the growing process of a grapevine to produce the amount of grapes and the quality of grapes. But I was actually doing a study of grapes because of a class paper. I was taking a course, and I wanted to understand what makes some grapes sweet and what makes some grapes bitter, and how does the farmer select the sweetest grapes to produce the best wine. Well, in my study, I learned something about the growing process of grapes, that there is a similarity of the seasonal effectiveness of grapes and the seasonal effectiveness of a human person in life. There was a similarity, and this is the similarity that I wanted to point out to. The grape and the grapevine goes through a harsh, cold winter season, almost as the vine is frostbit. And you would think that because of the harsh winter season, the vine is killed and destroyed. But it's not. It's actually blessing the vine. So the grapes that is produced during harvest time is sweet and perfect and juicy. So perfect that it is selected by the farmer to produce the best wine, or selected by the farmer to produce the best grapes for the public and the produce market. And that was the similarity that I recognized during my study. Isn't it interesting? But again, our podcast is called Seasons of Blessings. And I wanted to talk about that today because many times in life we start out, now some of us, there's always an exception to the rule. But many times when we actually discover what we want to do in life, what makes us happy, what we think that the end of the light or end of the tunnel, we want to become this, we want to become that. Well, at the end of the light, I want to make millions of dollars, multi-million dollars, or at the end of the light, end of the tunnel, I want to be this person of a household name or whatever it is. But we go through these goals and writing the goals, and we see the end of the light, and we don't see the end of the year. And I wanted to call this podcast Seasons of Blessings, because when I was studying the grapes, it goes through a season of blessings, which is that cold front for producing the best fruit or the best harvest for the market. And I want to really just kind of bring forth today and maybe call someone to not be so stressed out because they think that they're not at a place where they think they should be. And just kind of reforming your thinking. Because I was guilty of it, looking at the end, I want to do this at a certain age. I want to do that at a certain age. But I missed the whole opportunity Although every year I will write down my goals and plans and I will mark them off during the year. What have I done? But I was still looking at the end of the light. What the finalization of it, which is a normal thing to do and it's always good to do. But I was missing the gratification of that year, that season of blessing to be a blessing, because learning is built upon one step at a time, not you take the whole learning process from kindergarten all the way through college and then boom, we are successful, we are this. No, it's a whole process. And the process is year after year. That is called the seasons of blessings. And if we skip that, and we miss those seasons of blessings, and then all of a sudden we become this huge person. And when we get to that level of gratification, there are things at that level of gratification that a person did not experience during the seasons of blessings. They're not going to have the knowledge nor skills or the intellect or the common sense in order to maintain that level of status, because they missed all the seasons of blessings. They missed writing down and learning and thinking about all the obstacles that they went through and all the things that tried to stop them, or all the things that caused them heartache and tears and joys and happy and celebrations, because they went from 1 to 100 instead of going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the seasons of blessings are 1 year at a time. That's why, I don't know if you do this, but I do every month. I try to do this every month, is write down what the month entailed. What did I learn from that month? Because those are seasons of blessings. There are times that I do wake up on Saturday mornings and I walk around with my coffee and I think about that week. What did I learn this week? What I should have done? What are the things that I said that I should not have said? How can I brush up on some intellect? What did I miss on that point? Those are seasons of blessings. And, sometimes you can take increments of small, like week after week, or you can do month after month, or you can do quarterly, every 3 months. But doing those, whatever time lots that you decide you want to do, are called seasons of blessings, because we have an ultimate goal is to become this exceptional, huge thing, because it's in us. All of us want to be exceptional and the best at whatever it is, that we learned everything during those seasons of blessings in order to be able to stand alert at that final place where you want to be a blessing to others. Okay. So there are seasons of blessings in every day. There are seasons of blessings during an entire week. There are seasons of blessings during an entire month. There are seasons of blessings during the increments of quarterly, every 3 months. But whatever it is, take the time out to evaluate, what did you learn? What can you build upon? What do you need to alter and change? What direction do you need to go towards people who are already there in that place where you're trying to go? What are some of the friends that you need to evaluate what's pouring negativity in your life? Because even though you may have that, that's still called seasons of blessings. It is, you're blessed enough to recognize some of the things that are in your life that's not blessing you, and you need to shade it off, not get rid of people, not cut them off, because they can still be seasons of blessings, but they cannot go in a direction where you're going, like spending 90% of your time on the phone with them, or 100% of the time on the phone with them, every day spending the time on the phone with them, but not getting rid of people, because they may still be a person or a thing or a job or whatever it is, a seasons of blessing in your life. You got to have that inward knowing, this got to go. This needs to be thrown out. I don't need this. This is the end of the road for that particular item. But that is still called seasons of blessings. The blessing to know what you should do to go to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, because there are levels. What you don't want to do is when you get to that place and you cannot handle all the traffic and all the different personalities and all the different, I call spiritual forces that's coming at you because you did not go through the process of spiritual blessings on your way, on your journey to become this large person. I truly believe that every time you become elevated, you have to deal with that level of tension, that level of obstacles, and that level of different personalities and characteristics, and that level of deceitfulness, and the level of strange relationships, because all of that is like a pile of seasons of blessings, because you have to be familiar and to be able to experience it. So when you go to the next level, it's that same process all over again. Now, the blessing is you're able to do that. There are some people who are not blessed and get the opportunity to do that. They just go from one level to the next. This is why a lot of times people should allow people to go through things so they can assess the situation to learn from it, because there's a reason why that happened, to go to that next level. Sometimes I wonder some of the obstacles that happens at a manager level or a CEO level or a billionaire level. I couldn't even imagine. I probably would not be able to breathe in that level because I have not learned the process in order to get there. There are so many different seasons of blessings that are in between, from a person who's making $20 an hour to a person that's making $20 billion an hour. All of those in between are seasons of blessings and learnings. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that because of the process of the growing process of the grapevine. Is no different than humanity of the growing process of a human life cycle. And there are lessons. I call it seasons of blessings, whether it's negativity or not, because it's all a blessing. And in time when you get an opportunity to go through things, to actually reevaluate and dissect it, it's a blessing. You know, what's not a blessing that you did not take the time out to dissect the situation and look at it. The reason why I'm talking about this today is because I went through something about 2 weeks ago and I had to stop for a moment, and I had to really because it was just overwhelming, and I did not understand it, but I didn't say anything. I just sat there and thought about what in the world had just happened to me. And why is this happening? What made it happen? But I had to think about it. And I'm a person who gets up early in the morning and actually analyze everything, because my mind is clear and I can hear better and I can analyze things better. And I discovered something, why, and what I learned from it. And that is the reason why I'm coming here today to talk about seasons of blessings. Because after all the things that I went through those 2 weeks, it ended up blessing me. And I'm looking at the blessing and wondering, how did the blessing come about? You know how sometimes people call it miracles. I just think it's just a season of blessings, that it is pointed just for you to learn the process. So it'll help bring familiarity when you go to the next level. But I don't want to talk about me. I just want to talk about and share what different cycles in our life, what we go through, just for whatever it is that you're trying to possess or trying to do in life, or being the best family, being the best father, being the best mother, being the best sister, being the best business owner, being the best entrepreneur. There are seasons of blessings that you go through, and look at it as a blessing to be able to take the time and have the intellect to analyze the situation so it could prosper you, Just like the grapevine, you would think, as I mentioned before, because it goes through this cold front, this cold season of frostbite, you would think it would damage the vine, but it actually produces the best fruit. But I wanted to just share that with you guys. And I hope this message today blesses you. And I hope it resonates some things in your life where you looked at it as a stress when really is just sit down and with a piece of paper and find out, how is this blessing my life and how is it going to help me in the future? But listen, you guys, I want to thank you again for listening to my podcast each week and coming back. And remember, you can always go to my website, SonyaBuchanan.com or ConfidentPromises.com. It is our community effort to the public, where we have many things on that website that will help you and enlighten you and just have fun there. But this is the end of our podcast. And like I said, thank you so much. This is your girl, Sonya Buchanan, with the Sonya Buchanan Show, where we focus on one life, one smile at a time. Listen, you all, have a great rest of the week, and we will talk to you next week. Same time, same place, at the Sonya Buchanan Show. Bye, you guys. Thank you for joining our podcast today. The podcast was produced and edited by Sonya Buchanan. For more information about the host, you can go to SonyaBuchanan.com. For information about Confident Promises broadcast community, you can go to ConfidentPromises.com. Thank you for listening to our broadcast, the Sonya Buchanan Show, where we focus on one life, one smile at a time. Until next time, bye, you guys.